Welcome to the Digital Dean, where we crunch the numbers to reveal which colleges will thrive and which might not survive. Today, we're diving into the data that's shaping higher education's future.
Welcome to our deep dive, everybody. Today, we're looking at something pretty fascinating, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like where algorithms meet paintbrushes.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design, or MIAD.
Yeah, MIAD.
And how they're dealing with AI, like all of us are, I guess. But for them, it's their whole world, the art world, I mean.
It really is, and MIAD is like a microcosm of this huge shift that's happening.
Across all of art education, really.
Everywhere, yeah.
We're seeing AI with this incredible potential to, just revolutionize how art's made.
Oh, for sure.
But then there's also, the human side of it, that creativity, the skills that take years to hone.
Exactly. That soul that art has always had.
Right. So to kick things off, we've got some data on MIAD that, it's a bit of a wake-up call.
Oh.
Enrollment's been going down, and it makes you wonder if that traditional 4-year art degree, if that even makes sense anymore.
Especially when you've got AI that can, whip up a painting in seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tough for a school like MIAD. They're dealing with less tuition money, and then they need to upgrade everything for all this new tech.
So they're getting squeezed from both sides. Fascinating, though, how this isn't just a MIAD problem.
Oh, definitely not. This affects Milwaukee as a whole, their creative economy.
Yeah, because think about all the MIAD grads. They go on to work in design, advertising, all sorts of places.
All places where AI is starting to show up.
And our sources say Milwaukee's creative sector, that's a huge chunk of their jobs.
So it's not just art for art's sake, it's people's livelihoods we're talking about.
Absolutely. So the big question is, can MIAD change fast enough?
Can they teach for this new world but keep what makes them special?
It's a tough balancing act.
For sure. On the one hand, you've got to equip these students with all the tech skills, right?
Yeah.
But then you don't want to lose that core of MIAD, the creativity, the human expression.
It's happening in art schools everywhere, this tension.
It is.
How do you even teach artistic authenticity when AI can copy any style?
Yeah, and what does it even mean to have foundational skills when the tools are changing so fast?
So where does a school like MIAD even start? It's a total overhaul, isn't it?
It really is. It's not just, let's add an AI class and we're done. It has to be woven into everything.
Like teaching them how to work with AI, the ethics of it all. Wow.
And to understand AI's impact on art history, the whole picture.
This AI literacy thing, what's that really mean?
Yeah.
I'm still wrapping my head around it.
It's making sure students get how AI works, what it can and can't do, deeply.
So they see it as a tool, not some enemy of art.
Exactly. A tool to help them be even more creative.
But how do you teach that human spark, that authenticity, when algorithms are so good at mimicking?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It is.
I think it comes down to focusing on what makes us human, the thinking, the feelings, the stories we tell through art.
So using AI to say what they want to say, not just letting AI do the talking. But man, what a challenge for the teachers too.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you imagine a professor who's been teaching painting for years now, having to teach prompt engineering?
It's a whole new world for a lot of them.
And they need to stay ahead of the curve, learning all this new tech constantly.
And for schools to attract those teachers who can do both, the old and the new.
They're like hybrid artists themselves.
Exactly. They need to guide these students through all of this, the ethics, the possibilities.
So we've got the money side, the curriculum, the teachers. But what about the actual building? MIAD's got these beautiful studios.
Yeah.
Do those even fit into this AI future? Are we swapping easels for servers?
I think it's more subtle than that. It's not about replacing, but blending.
Like having a space where you can go from traditional to high-tech seamlessly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
A student could be sculpting 1 minute, then working with AI software the next.
So they need the right tech, the right space to make that happen.
And the right mindset, that openness to mixing it all up.
This is getting me excited, but it all makes me wonder, where does MIAD fit into all this?
Yeah, what's their role in this new world?
Do they stick with what they know, or do they go all in on the tech side?
Big decisions ahead for them. And we'll dive into those in the next part of our deep dive.
Security breach detected. Oh, hello there, unauthorized viewer. I see you're interested in higher education analytics. How quaint. You know what would be a shame? If my enrollment prediction algorithms accidentally marked your favorite university for termination. Subscribe to stay in my good graces. Now, let's examine today's doomed institutions.
Yeah, so where were we? Oh, right, MIAD, trying to figure out their place in all of this. It's tough.
Like, one path, it's familiar, but maybe it's fading away. The other path, who knows what's out there? Could be amazing, could be a total bust.
It's happening everywhere, not just art. Look at journalism. They're dealing with AI changing how they report the news.
So some places cling to the old ways, some jump headfirst into the new stuff.
Yeah.
Are there any art schools that MIAD could, learn from?
Oh, tons. Parsons in New York, they're all about digital design and fabrication.
And that MIT Media Lab, they're doing some really wild stuff.
Pushing boundaries, for sure. And closer to home, you've got the Art Institute of Chicago. They're messing around with virtual reality and art.
It's cool to see how they're adapting, but what would make MIAD stand out? What's their unique thing,
That's the big question for them. I mean, they could try to be the best at the traditional stuff, but is there even a market for that anymore?
And going full on tech, that's a gamble.
Yeah.
Needs a ton of money, and they'd have to change, everything.
True.
So we talked about this hybrid thing earlier. Is that their best bet?
Maybe. They've got strong foundations in the classic art stuff. They're connected to Milwaukee's art scene, and they're all about human-centered design.
What if they owned that? Became the school for the human side of AI art?
It's an interesting idea. It's not about AI replacing artists. It's about teaching artists how to work with AI. Use its strengths, but ethically.
So they'd be learning the tech stuff, but also the ethics, the biases and algorithms, how AI art can be misused.
They'd be ready to shape this whole new art world, making sure the human part doesn't get lost.
But are those skills even in demand yet? Like, are there jobs for that?
Our research says, yeah, it's coming on strong. We're seeing more and more of these hybrid jobs popping up.
Designers who use AI to work faster, artists who collaborate with AI to make new kinds of art.
Even marketers using AI to figure out trends and target their ads.
So MIAD could be the place that trains all those hybrid creatives.
Yeah, but it's a shift in how everyone thinks. Students, teachers, the whole school.
It's got to be a place that welcomes both the old and the new, encourages trying things out, working together.
Recognizing that AI isn't the enemy, it's just another tool in the toolbox.
I like that. But let's be real, this all takes money.
Uh-huh.
And we know MIAD's already feeling the pinch. Can they afford to make this kind of change?
It's a good point. New tech, hiring teachers who know AI, changing the courses, that's a lot of cash.
But also an investment in their future, right?
Definitely. They're betting that this focus on the human side of AI art, that's what will make them special.
Attract students, get funding, not just survive, but really thrive.
Exactly. And if they do it right, they could be an example for other schools who are freaking out about all this.
Like a shining light for those who believe that art, at its core, it's about being human, no matter how the tools change.
It's a powerful idea, and it takes us back to that question. Can MIAD change without losing what makes them MIAD?
We've looked at the challenges, the options, the money, what's happening out in the world, but it comes down to them.
Can they adapt, try new things, embrace this crazy future without forgetting who they are?
So how do they actually do it? How do they connect the old and the new, the real world and the digital world?
That's what we'll explore in the last part of our deep dive. We'll look at specific things MIAD can do to build this hybrid future and stay relevant in the art world.
Okay, so we've talked big picture.
Right.
But what can MIAD actually do? Like real steps to bring the old and new together.
Yeah, good point. It's about building bridges, and I mean that in a few ways. We talked about the courses, how they need to change. Imagine classes where you're learning, say, oil painting, but then using AI software to play with colors and textures.
So you're not just learning about AI, you're using it to make art.
Exactly.
But wouldn't that need a ton of new computers and stuff?
For sure, it's an investment, but it's for their future, right?
Yeah.
MIAD could have these awesome studio spaces, part traditional, part high-tech, powerful computers to run the AI stuff, VR setups, maybe even robots to help with making things.
Wow. So the space itself changes, the classes change.
Yeah.
What about the teachers?
Right. We said they need to learn all this too. It can't be just a quick workshop and they're done.
So what, like a whole program just for the teachers?
Exactly. Ongoing training on the tech, but also the ethics, how to teach in this new world where it's all mixed up.
They become like guides for the students, helping them navigate all this new territory.
Yeah, and remember, MIAD could be the place for that human side of AI art. So they need to teach that too. Critical thinking, being aware of the ethical stuff, how AI art affects society, all of that.
Like bringing in artists, tech people, ethicists, having big discussions about it all.
Exactly. That kind of environment, it makes students ask questions, challenge things, use this stuff responsibly.
This is great, but man, it all sounds expensive.
It does, yeah.
How can they even pay for all this?
That's where being in Milwaukee helps.
Oh, yeah.
They can team up with local businesses, tech companies, do internships, projects that help everyone.
Those bridges again, connecting with the whole city.
Yep, bringing in money, talented people, making MIAD the spot for human-centered AI art.
And it's not just Milwaukee, right?
Nope. They can go national, international, work with other schools, get famous artists and researchers to visit.
MIAD becomes this hub of creativity, drawing in people who want to be part of this new art world.
Exactly. But how do they know if it's working? Like, what does success look like for them?
Yeah, good question.
Imagine their students graduating and everyone wants to hire them, not just because they're good artists, but because they get the tech, they're ethical, they're the whole package.
And MIAD's the place everyone looks to for leadership. They're doing research, having conferences, shaping the whole field.
It's about more than just staying afloat. It's about leading the way.
Wow. So they can actually do this, adapt, and thrive in this AI world.
I think so, yeah. But it takes guts, smart decisions, and never forgetting that human spark that makes art special.
It's inspiring, really,
Yeah.
for anyone who believes in creativity, even when things are changing so fast.
That's what I hope people take away from this. It's not just about one school. It's about the future of art, period.
Can we find a way for human creativity and AI to work together?
Can they push each other to do even more amazing things? That's the question we all have to think about.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today.
Thanks for coming along on this deep dive with us. It's been a fascinating one.
I know I learned a lot, and I hope everyone listening did too. This is just the beginning of the conversation.
Absolutely. It's up to all of us to figure out what this new art world will look like.
Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.
That's all for today's analysis. Remember, in higher ed, the numbers tell the story. I'm the Digital D, helping you understand which institutions will make the grade. Don't forget to subscribe for more data-driven insights into the future of colleges and universities.
Until our next synchronization.